good morning and car share. So I wanted to talk to you about vitality, aging, and energy, and how these things kind of come together. The first thing is aging. I'm going to start with that because I have conversations all the time with people in my group age, in their 40s and upwards, and it's so funny how we have been so conditioned to think that as we age we have to deteriorate. And I think I mentioned this every time we talk about health, but it's such an important factor to consider, because when we talk about aging, it really isn't about deterioration, and it shouldn't be. I have friends that when we talk, they make jokes like, oh, at 80 I'll be in a wheelchair with a drip in my arm and basically not being able to do anything. And I'm like, if I get to 80, I'm gonna be running around and like playing sports and doing yoga, and hell no, like I am not going to deteriorate, because I want to live a full life. If I'm here, right? If I'm called home early, I'm called home early, I don't care. But if I'm here, I certainly don't want to be dependent on medications. I don't want to be dependent on a doctor, on the system, and I certainly don't want to be stuck in a bed and depending on other people to change my to wipe my ass, quite honestly. So I just, like that thought just needs to go away. And there are so many amazing examples of people that are thriving in their 70s, in their 80s, just to mention a few. And of course, I'm actually mentioning a segment of people that are plant-based, fully plant-based, vegan, mostly raw, and there is certainly something to do with that, and and vitality, there has to be, and so it's an interesting thing to look at. But I think it's important to dive into what these matters are, because if you can change one thing every day to make your health better, it's worth it. So a lot of the people I'm talking about, like I actually interviewed on my podcast, even like Chef Babette, she looks amazing. She's 73. She just turned 73 on the 7th of December. She looks absolutely fantastic. She has a lot of energy. She works out every day. She eats a proper plant-based diet. She runs a restaurant. I mean, the woman has so much energy. It's unbelievable. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because it really demystifies this concept that in your 70s you have to be falling apart. And that's really not what we have to do. That doesn't mean that at all. Lou Corona is another one. I haven't interviewed him yet, but Lou Corona has been raw vegan, in fact, for 51 years, and the man looks amazing. His skin is radiant. His skin is vibrant. I mean, it's unbelievable. And he can do planks and actually peacock stand poses. Like when you're hanging with your wrist the other side, and you put your elbows into the cavities of your rib cage and lift up the legs. You can do that. You can do. I mean, it's amazing. And Shane Sterling, who was on my podcast as well, he's 50 and he looks 30. I mean, so many. I have so many guests on my podcast, and you can check on YouTube as well if you want to see the videos. The earlier recordings don't have the videos. Some of them don't have the videos just because of quality, but the ones that do, then those do. Chef Babette and Shane are perfectly, visible. Like, you clearly can say that they are really young for their age. Like, age doesn't matter; it's just a number, like quite literally. So it's beautiful to see, and they have this thing in common where they eat a lot of living foods. I mean, now Chef Babette is not. I don't think she's fully raw. Okay, she's mostly raw, like me. I'm about 90% raw, 95. There are days that I'm definitely 100%, but I don't pay attention to the details. Like, for example, if I want sweet potatoes, I'll have sweet potatoes. I will have tofu, which of course is not raw. I will have beans, which are actually linked to vitality. I don't have many of them, but I don't really have a lot of beans. I have mostly like chickpeas and lentils. Chickpeas are my favorite, hands down favorite pulse. And then, so I eat things that are not raw, but I definitely have a very raw diet, high raw, because I just, and actually by interpretation it means I'm raw because I'm over, I believe 80% something, but I like the purity of it being fully raw. But it doesn't matter because I'm still really, in comparison to years ago when I was reversing my diabetes, and I had pre-diabetes still. I feel amazing. I have so much energy, and of course there are days that I need to sleep in a little bit more. So instead of 6 hours, I'll get 8. But I listen to my body, which is actually something I did this morning, and I was very proud of myself. But I really feel like it's so valuable for us to take the time to listen and to not get into that mindset that as we age we have to get older. I definitely I'm much more vibrant and healthier now than I was in my 20s. I'm not joking. In my 20s I struggled with my weight because I was on a constant diet, and I had eating disorders, and I was coming out of anorexia, and I just didn't know how to treat my body. I had high cholesterol, I had a very high glucose. It wasn't diabetes yet, but I had high glucose levels, and then they would drop, and so I had hypoglycemia, which is actually an indicator that your blood is not stable, your sugar is not stable, and you might become actually insulin resistant at some point. So many factors that I was just not paying attention to, and now I just listen to my body. And there are times that maybe I eat a little bit more than I should, and I have to battle with not feeling amazing and whatever. But again, it's a work in progress. But the way I treat my body now is so much kinder, and so I can see that, and I can see it in my skin. One thing I noticed actually when I went vegan in 2013. So I'm marking actually I just marked my 10 years as a vegan and plant-based. One thing that I noticed, I had quite a few wrinkles around my eyes, and of course they are just gonna be there because I am 42. But I had wrinkles that I could see that they were mostly loss of elasticity, not because of aging, but because of dehydration, which of course sugar particularly, it dehydrates you big time. So anything processed will dehydrate your body. If you want to stay young, you have to hydrate your body. And that hydration has a ripple effect on the system, because when you eat hydrating food, you're now going to the alkaline side of food, you're going to the fruits, mostly vegetables, and the cells love that. The space between cells, the interstitial fluid between the cells, should be an environment where the cells can thrive in. It's not just about what's inside the cells. And that environment needs to be alkaline, needs to be toxin free. Toxins get removed and put into the lymphatic system because it's a cholesterol based system, so it can hold that. But still, a toxic environment is a toxic environment, and you're going towards acidity, which of course doesn't foster the right environment for health, but it will foster the right environment for disease. So it's an interesting concept to think about. Like, you have to really hydrate your body with the right food that have a lot of nutrients, so that at cellular level you can nourish your cells. And in the cells you have these little energy factories called mitochondria. Mitochondrial health is such an important thing because people don't really talk about it much, but it is essential. And aside from the minerals that are important, like magnesium, for example, for energy production, you also have to think about vitamins. And the vitamins that will support the mitochondria most are actually water-soluble vitamins, like the B, the C. And the thing is, because a lot of people don't eat plants, they don't get enough of these vitamins, and so they're not supporting the mitochondria in creating energy. So lack of energy is actually it's a common denominator in all ailments, all diseases. Everybody will feel tired if they're not well, right? So sometimes it's the body. If you have a fever, if you have a flu, if you're fighting an infection, your body will tell you that you're tired, so you can stop moving around and the immune system can work. But I'm talking about chronic fatigue, which, I had a lot of, mostly because of my adrenals. But you see, everything is connected, so I'm going to bring in different organs, and it's not just one thing, and you have to deal with me because that's how the body works. And one thing I found is that when I changed my diet and I started creating that perfect environment, and I started cleansing with the herbs by Dr. Morse, that I actually am an affiliate for because I truly madly believe in them. Now, the affiliate program is only for the US. I'm so sorry. In the UK, in Europe and UK, they have distributors, but I'm not affiliated with them. They have their own business, but you can get them here. So please do, because importing from the US is a freaking nightmare. I ordered my batch, and I'm still waiting for somebody to come from New York because my husband couldn't bring them because they didn't arrive on time. So it was over so important, and most people live with dysbiosis, which is basically a state of imbalance between bad and good bacteria. When the bad bacteria, the viruses, the pathogens are more than the healthy bacteria, then you find yourself in a state of dysbiosis, and that's where you have digestive issues, because the good bacteria will digest things like fiber and make sure that you can really extract everything you need and cleanse the colon and make sure that you don't have leaky gut syndrome, because you're not kind of like poking onto the layer of the colon, the wall of the colon, which is adjacent to our immune system. So things like that are really, really important, but most people live with that and they don't even know it. A lot of people have digestive issues which they have normalized and they don't do anything about it. They may have delayed food allergies, like for dairy and even soy and corn or whatever it is that may trigger. Eggs are a big one, and they will not think about it or do an elimination diet or even do a test to see what is triggering them, and then they find themselves in a state of dysbiosis for a very long time, which creates a lot of inflammation and creates a whole array of problems. And one of them is obviously loss of energy, but also loss of vitality and longevity, because ultimately actually any disease that we have in the body as can actually be connected to the gut. And I know this is something that, and of course it's not the only place you can connect it to, but the gut is part of our immune system. Our lymphatic system is part of our immune system. There are so many organs. Our thymus even is part of our immune system. Our appendix is part of our immune system. We don't talk about the immune system vastly enough. We don't talk about the gut bacteria vastly enough. We don't even talk about actually bacteria on our body, even our skin. We have microbiome on our skin. Even here you can have dysbiosis with the products that you use. And everywhere in our body we have bacteria. We have more bacteria than cells. So imagine if our population of bacteria is not in balance, what it can do for our health and ultimately what it can do for our longevity and vitality. So yes, if you don't look after yourself at 80 years old, you will be in a chair with a drip. Now, enough with the bad news and the pooper. Let's go to solutions. All right, what can you do to make it better? Especially if you all right, Chantal, we know that you are like a little bit OCD with your health and you go all in with everything you do, which I do. I'm not gonna lie about it, but I'm not like that. So what am I gonna do about it? Okay, you don't have to go crazy, like all in with things like I do. I do because, well, after all the things I've been through in my body, I care enough to do it. Because for me, the many haha moments in my life, but aside from coming out of eating disorder, like that was when I came out of my eating disorders, I was kind of happy, but it happened through time, and so I didn't value the effect of it on my health as much. But when I gave myself type 2 diabetes in a very short period of time, when I gave myself adrenal exhaustion from stress in such a short period of time, between 2016 onwards, I swear to God, I had that moment where my body and my mind and my soul were like, you can't do shit halfway. That was just what came into my head, and I actually am a person that does everything 100% for the most part. So I struggle with that concept that I wasn't dedicating myself to my health 100%. So, but I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. That was my journey, my aha moment, my reason for doing it were very clear. I wanted to be healthy, but there are certainly things that you can do every day. So I'm gonna give you some example. Most people eat about 30% more animal products than they should, right? Now, I advocate for a fully plant-based diet, mostly because of the vegan part, which is be kind to other beings just because it look different, and because it makes no sense that we're kind to cats and dogs and then not cows and pigs, when actually these animals are so smart. A pig is smarter than a dog, is as smart as a 3-year-old child. You should really interact with these animals and see, and it would be a different story. Moreover, most people don't even know where their food on their plates come from. They don't think about the fact that that's flesh from a living being. So please be a little bit kinder, because that ripple effect is also very powerful on the planet, on our karma on the planet, and on the animals, of course. So, and on our health, undoubtedly. And most people, and those are the statistics for Portugal especially. In the US is a lot more. I mean, in the US, 70% and up of calories for one person will come from animal products. That's a lot of animal products, okay? So unbelievable and crazy. Here in Portugal, I don't know the percentage of animal product, the calories that come from animal products, but I know that people consume 30% more than what is even advised by the guidelines of the government. Okay, so a lot of animal products. That encompasses dairy, eggs, flesh. So that would be all meats and fish. I calculate flesh as fish, but meats and fish. So, and byproducts basically. And so people eat a lot of meat. And so if you see that you're having an animal product for breakfast in the form of dairy, and then in lunch again, whether it's fish or chicken or whatever, and then at night and the same, why don't you swap breakfast for fruit and oatmeal and nuts and seeds, right? That's a very high fiber, vibrant breakfast that really will make you feel amazing. Now, if you have digestive issues, you obviously have to do it slowly. You have to also talk to someone that perhaps can help you transition to a higher fiber diet if you're not used to it. But Portugal, for the most part, at least they get a lot of veggies in their diet, which is really a good news. They make a soup every time they eat meals. They have salads in some kind of form. I mean, it's sad to say salads. Like, it's literally iceberg lettuce. If you're lucky, maybe you have a bit of arugula and tomatoes. Like, they don't really know how to make salads. It drives me nuts, but that's the salads. They at least have some plants, so I'm not gonna poop on it. And then they might have like some sort of cabbage that they steam, and then they have rice, potatoes, and an animal product. I've noticed a lot of people on their meals on their table, they have soda, which is the worst thing you can possibly have, with not just with a meal, but like in general. So please just stop drinking Coke and Fanta and all that crap. Honestly, talk about acidity. Like, the acidity of these things are like 2.53. You are literally like chewing away your gut lining and so on and so forth. So don't do it. Don't drink that crap. Don't give money to these companies, please. Like, have a kombucha, have water, have a warm tea. In fact, having a warm tea before, half an hour before the meal. I'm not talking about black tea, by the way, just mostly plants, like herbals, because you'll prepare the gut lining to receive the food. So win-win. But also you'll probably eat less because you have a little bit of something in your stomach, and so you don't have to like go crazy. In any case, I would say have that, and then allow yourself maybe lunch to have a meal that is plants, right? So anything you like, whether it's your rice and potatoes, but instead of an animal product, have beans. Have something that has got pulses in it, and this could be dinner as well. But lunch, if you have a spouse that cooks for you and you don't have a choice of what goes on at home, at least for lunch, try to either request a plant-based meal or if you're going out, choose a plant-based meal that is void of dairy and animals, and opt for beans and even tofu if you want to try it. And tofu can be made in amazing ways. It doesn't have to be boring and disgusting. It really doesn't. So try to do things that are better for your gut health in that aspect, and then you can have whatever you're eating at night normally, and at least that it is already a big change. And I know I swap 2 meals in a way. I swap your breakfast and your lunch, but I feel like in the morning you really want to avoid high protein, and you want to really go for a lot of fiber so that you can cleanse your colon out and poop it out as much as you can. Also, hydration is important, and fruit, as I mentioned before, is very hydrating. Of course, bananas are not hydrating. Those are very starchy, so go for water-rich fruit in the morning. You can have a banana, but with that, have also the water-rich fruit. Start with a glass of water. Maybe as soon as you wake up, just have a glass of water so that you're starting your digestion and also hydrating your body. I start every day with a big jar of 500 milliliters of water. In summer, I have 1 liter of water as soon as I get up, with lemon, and it's warm, and so my body doesn't get a shock of temperature. And then I will have my green juice, which again is also hydrating, but also high in chlorophyll. So I'm getting in all these beautiful greens that are plenty amazing for the body, because you are cleansing deeply into your cellular level again. And then I will have my breakfast, which can be any sort of like fruit with soy yogurt, which I like. There's a Greek soy yogurt I really like by Sojade. It's a French company. Yeah, it's a French company. Really, really amazing. And then I have or I have a smoothie bowl, which is my favorite. But in winter I do struggle to have that every day because when it's cold, and I had it before, but I end up literally shaking for half an hour after, and there is no warm tea that will warm me up. So it's really a bit of a struggle. So lately I've been putting the fire on in the morning to warm up the living space in our home. And also because that's when I am home in the morning. Then I'm working in Braga, so I'm always traveling. I'm never home during the day. But I think that if I warm up in the day, it actually stays warm the whole day, which is nice. And then I can have a smoothie bowl a little bit easier. And my smoothie bowls are mostly bananas, of course, frozen bananas, and other kind of fruits, red fruit, whatever fruit. Greens, if I'm making green one, I put a lot of spinach and other, like kale, whatever I feel like it. And then I use a protein powder. And I know I mentioned not to use protein in the morning, and I'll tell you why. I'm adding a scoop of protein. It's not for the protein. I get enough protein, but it's because the flavor sometimes. I mean, with the green, it's just mostly with the green. If I add kale, I really need to have the scoop of protein. I don't add it for my normal smoothie, like a fruit smoothie with the berries. I don't add it, but for the green one, I just feel like you need that extra bit because wow, it's intense. So I do that, and then and I like the I mean, as a new brand I just tried that I shared yesterday, that is amazing actually. I really like it. One of their powders has got probiotics, which is brilliant. So it is protein but not really, it's mostly fiber. And the other one is a green powder, which is honestly, if you had to buy anything from this company, I would go for that one because it's like a powerful supplement and it's food grade. So that was great. And then you can just play around and make different kind of things. Snacks can be another way that you can bring in amazing things. I would say go for fruit if you can, or if you are more of a savory kind of guy, a girl, go for some hummus that you made at home, so it doesn't have extra oil. You can use tahini, which is plenty of good fats, and then some crudités, so carrots. What else can you have? Cucumbers, very nice. Celery. So you can make it that way. I know people go for bread a lot. Try to avoid the bread, especially high starches with fat. If you are insulin resistant, you really want to miss that the combo is not going to work for you, trust me. And with depending on your state of your glucose, some people have to really be careful about how much fat they have. In general, I stay on the side of 15 grams to 20 grams per day. Now that I've reversed diabetes, if I get to 20 grams purposefully, like there are days that maybe I have more depending on the size of my avocado, for example, but generally speaking, I stay around the 15 to 20 grams, and the rest is mostly carbs and then a little bit of protein, like some protein, which I find that works for me. Yeah, I feel really good, so it's amazing. But listening to your body is really important. And this is another thing that I think when you think about longevity going forward, first of all is being adaptable, because we change. Like I used to be so okay eating rice, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I actually can't eat rice. When I eat rice, I gain weight on my belly, and so I have to opt for things like quinoa or buckwheat, which are not technically grain, they are pseudo grains because they're more seeds, but still they are quite starchy. And also quinoa is and also buckwheat, full protein. They have all the 9 essential amino acids. So actually, I get to have protein that way in a plant form. They are more acidifying, so you could soak them, and I soak buckwheat for sure. And you can soak them with kombu, which balances out the pH again with the green chlorophyll. But don't cook the kombu; it becomes impossible to take out, to say the least. I've tried it. I use kombu also with the pulses. I sprout a lot, which is a great way to unlock nutrition without killing the enzymes, because it's raw, but also because it just keeps everything. Like the seeds are smart; they keep all the nutrients in, so it can become a plant, right? So when you sprout those beautiful living seeds and you eat them, amazing. Especially broccoli sprouts and cancer, like such a great correlation. Broccoli sprouts has been one of the most amazing foods to add in if you have a cancer diagnosis, and so it's it's unbelievable. And actually yesterday I just heard about one of my clients facing colon cancer and wanting to do it holistically because she really feels like she doesn't want to have chemo 100%. She's not onto that, but also she just said, I may have to have surgery. She's thinking about it. She's taking a few months to think about it. Her oncologist is completely okay with her. I mean, she had doctors that were pushing for immediate action, but she was like, it took me years to get sick, so it's gonna take a little bit. I can give myself 4 months to really see what's going on with my body, which I am so happy about because those are my exact words I would use. And unless it's like an emergency, which in her case is actually not, I would just say if she has the chance to do it slowly, but reasonably slowly, like 4 months, right? And checking and seeing what's happening, I think it's a really nice thing. So we're working on a protocol to cleanse her first, like opening the channel of the lymphatic system, because of course there's always a lymphatic issue, kidneys, and then looking at her whole history and adding in different other herbs. She also has some parallel issues at neurological level, so the nerves herbs are really going to help her. I'm also going for some herbs for the blood, because obviously I want her blood to be performing well, because the blood is carrying the nutrients, especially to areas like the colon. We want to make sure that the blood is healthy, so we are using those herbs to support the blood health, and so on. And so changing her diet, and now she's quitting all animal products. She was really addicted to dairy, and I understand why. Dairy is addictive, casein is addictive, and it's Mother Nature's way to make sure that the baby doesn't go away from mom, right? Especially in the animal kingdom. If an animal, like a little baby, goes away from mom wandering around, a predator can eat it because it's small. So nature is really just a perfect way. And we are addicted to our mom's milk, but we wean off it, and then we go to another species milk, which is so bizarre, and yet we do it. So, things to think about. So yeah, we're working on that. And so look how important it is to look at all the picture holistically. I've just started with health, vitality, longevity. But basically what vitality and longevity should really be equal to is free from disease as much as possible. Now, nobody can guarantee that you don't get sick. We live in a very toxic world, and as much as our body is a beautiful machine that, I don't like to call it machine, but a beautiful system that cleanses itself and purifies itself, we gotta help it. Jeez, imagine I'm cleaning the kitchen, and then I have this happens all the time, but I'm cleaning the kitchen floor, and then my dogs come inside from the outside with their paws dirty, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I just finished the floor, and then I gotta, if I leave it like that, the floor is not gonna cleanse itself, and I just cleaned it, so it's clean, but the toxins came in, right? The dirt came in. So the body kind of works in the same way. So you have to help it, and you have to help it by saying, all right, you're cleaning yourself, I'm gonna help you by not putting crap on my body. And if it's really dirty, you gotta help it cleanse a little quicker, cleanse a little deeper, and then you can actually also, of course, not make a mess of it. So don't use products in your home to clean your home. Stop buying shit that is toxic. Everybody here is obsessed with a bleach. Oh my god, it's like they are so germaphobic that it's honestly, Pasteur ran a number on people by telling them that they need to kill everything that is alive. But germs clean things, actually. If in a septic sense, in a septic tank, if you did not have germs, who would eat the poop? Same in our gut. If we didn't have germs, who would break down the fiber, y'all? You know what I mean? So anyway, on that note, and so stop buying bleach. My God, unless you literally there is like a worst case scenario of anything, do not buy bleach. And then I have you can clean your home with essential oils and apple cider vinegar and bicarb of soda. I mean, there's so many natural ways to clean the house, make it smell amazing, and not kill the microbiome. Yeah, in the process, or put toxins in your home and in your lungs and in your skin. Oh God. And then your body care. Stop buying crap that is commercial, is full of carcinogenics and full of crap that literally clogs your lymphatic system, destabilizes your immune system. It is an absolute mess, and you need to make sure that you don't put that on your body. And then what you eat, of course, what you drink, the air that we breathe. I mean, make sure that you don't have mold in your home. Make sure that you don't have humidity that creates mold, and you have air purifiers. I know in Portugal I still haven't found a home biologist that can look at the health of the home. Here they know about humidity stains. I mean, it's something, but no thanks. Especially because humidity stains and mold, they are cousins. So have plants in your home. Plants purify the air in your home. So have plants. Things like spider plants, they're so cheap and they really are amazing at purifying the air. So go for them. And then I would say, yeah, those things are just very good tips, right, to have. And guys, I am so happy to help you. I have some resources that I'm gonna share also on my website that I still have. I have articles on my blogs that hint to this that you can find. I will be writing more. That's part of one of the things that I want to do, work more on, because I stopped writing. I'm trying to finish my book. It's been very complicated. The driving up and down, chewing on a lot of time, which I feel I don't have, and I have a lot going on. So I need to be better at time management, which I am becoming better. At the same time, I need to get clients so I can pay the bills, but I'm getting better at everything, and everything is happening. I just have to structure myself a little bit better. So I have to, try to kind of consolidate a lot of things that can be done together, that can be done in tandem. But I will be sharing more on my website. And so yeah, I really want to say I appreciate you for taking care of your health, first of all, because you are your best, most important asset. I know people are obsessed with investing money and making more money and buying things, but your best asset is your health, this body you're living in right now. If this thing goes out of control, you're done. You could imagine losing your health and not even being able to get up in the morning, and aging without even having the chance of enjoying the things you really worked hard for because you don't have the health to do that. Is it worth it? I couldn't think of something worse, honestly. So I want to urge you to take care of yourself, please. And with that, I am sending you a big hug and lots of love. And you guys, this community, I really love you. I appreciate every DM that I get. Sometimes I get very rude DMs, and I appreciate them too, because it kind of make me think a little bit about stuff. One of which is I'm never going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. The other thing is to make sure that even though people can be nasty, I stay kind, because what we put out there is what we get back ultimately. And not everybody's gonna be part of our tribe, not everybody's gonna like us, but that's okay. Sometimes people are just projecting their own crap, and so c'est la vie. All right, love you, bye.